Chelsea closing in on £35 million deal for Manchester City star Raheem Sterling. Chelsea are confident that they have won the race to sign England star Raheem Sterling and are working on a £35 million deal to sign the Manchester City forward. The former Liverpool man is ready to leave the Etihad, after 7 years at the club. Sterling has 12 months to run on his existing deal, and though he's not handed in a transfer request, he has intimated to Pep Guardiola that he's open to a new challenge. The London-born winger is keen to return to the capital, and Gianluca Di Marzio say Chelsea are now confident of striking a £35 million deal. With Romelu Lukaku set to return to Inter Milan, Thomas Tuchel has been given significant money to invest in his front line, and he feels Sterling can play a more central role at Stamford Bridge. Sterling lost his place as a regular starter with City last term, but Guardiola had been keen to keep him. Barcelona winger Ousmane Dembele is another name on Chelsea's shortlist, but it's unclear whether a move for the Frenchman is independent to the Blues' interest in Sterling. The arrival of Sterling could prove bad news for Christian Pulisic and Callum Hudson-Odoi, who could be put up for sale. Chelsea target Lens right-back Jonathan Klaus. Chelsea are considering a move for Lens right-back Jonathan Klaus, according to reports in France. Thomas Tuchel needs to bolster all areas of his defence ahead of the new season following the departures of Antonio Rudiger and Andreas Christensen, while both Cesar Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso could also leave the club before the end of the window. Azpilicueta was adept at covering for Reece James on Chelsea's right flank, but according to French newspaper La Voix du Nord, the club are targeting Klaus if the Spaniard departs. The report claims that Chelsea have been monitoring Klaus' performances in League One, while Lens are open to selling the 29-year-old if their €10 million, £8.5 million, valuation is met. Klaus was Lens' standout performer in League One last season, providing 11 assists and scoring 5 goals during the campaign. The right-back was also named in League One's team of the season, which also included Marquinhos, William Saliba and Kylian Mbappe. Klaus has just 1 year remaining on his contract with Lens and has no plans to extend his current deal, as he has attracted interest from Marseille and Atletico Madrid, as well as Chelsea. During an interview with RMC Sport in May, Klaus was asked what club he dreamt of joining. "Since I was a kid, it's Chelsea and it remains Chelsea," he replied. Klaus has been capped 4 times by France's national team and is pushing to secure a place in Didier Deschamps' squad for their World Cup campaign later this year. Chelsea take interest in former Blues centre-back Nathan Ake. According to Nathan Gissing, Chelsea are interested in the resigning of Manchester City centre-back Nathan Ake as the Blues look to strengthen their defence after the recent departure of Antonio Rudiger and Andreas Christensen. The left-footed defender could be a good fit into Thomas Tuchel's 3 centre-back formation, taking the place of the departed Rudiger. Ake is only a rotation defender with the English champions, however has been there when called upon. It's reported that Tuchel is a big fan of the Dutch defender and is yet another Manchester City player that Chelsea now have their eye on, with Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus in their sights. Chelsea signed Ake from Dutch club Feyenoord back in 2011 for a fee of £720,000 where he joined the under-18s. Ake then saw a few loan spells to Reading, Watford and Bournemouth, gaining first-team experience. During that time, Ake managed to grab 17 first-team appearances for the Blues before rejoining loan club Bournemouth on a permanent deal costing the Cherries £20 million, making 121 starts for the South Coastal club. After leaving Bournemouth to join Manchester City, Ake only has made 40 appearances since joining the Manchester club back in 2020. With the Jules Koundé still top priority for the Blues despite his recent injury issues, Ake looks to be one of many defenders Chelsea are interested in bringing to Stamford Bridge this summer. Chelsea may still lose a couple more defenders, with Cesar Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso both expressing their wish to join Spanish giants Barcelona. Wolves set asking price for Chelsea and Manchester City target Rayan Ait-Nouri. Wolverhampton Wanderers will reportedly demand £45 million for defender Rayan Ait-Nouri, who is wanted by Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel is after a new left-back this summer to help cover the injury-prone Ben Chilwell, with current backup option Marcos Alonso looking increasingly likely to leave Stamford Bridge for Barcelona. With club captain Cesar Azpilicueta also linked with the Nou Camp, Tuchel is in serious need of defensive cover after losing Antonio Rudiger and Andreas Christensen, and Ait-Nouri has been identified as a potential signing. The Blues were initially after Brighton's Marc Cucurella, but he is more closely linked with Manchester City, with Pep Guardiola's side set to bid for the Spaniard very soon. But Ait-Nouri has been viewed as an alternative, cheaper option, who is already comfortable playing as a wing-back. However, The Sun report that Wolves want £45 million for the 21-year-old who has scored twice and made 7 assists since moving to Molineux in 2020. Ait-Nouri is also being monitored by City in case they do not sign Cucurella, with Guardiola prioritising a new left-back as his only options in that position. Joao Cancelo and Oleksandr Zinchenko are not naturals there, and the latter is also rumoured to be on the way out of the Etihad. Inter reject Chelsea's attempt to swap 4 players in Romelu Lukaku deal. Inter have rejected Chelsea's attempt to swap 4 players in the deal, which will see Romelu Lukaku return to Italy, according to reports. Lukaku is now on the verge of moving back to Inter on an initial loan deal less than a year after his £97.5 million switch to Stamford Bridge last August. Thomas Tuchel has given the green light for Lukaku to return to San Siro, while Chelsea are willing to accept a €10 million, £8.5 million, loan fee plus add-ons from Inter. According to Goal, Chelsea also explored the possibility of including Lautaro Martinez, Denzel Dumfries, Milan Skriniar and Alessandro Bastoni as part of the deal involving Lukaku. But Chelsea's efforts were rejected out of hand by Inter, who are intent on keeping their key players this summer. Chelsea are now waiting on Inter's hierarchy to agree to their terms for Lukaku's move back to Serie A. Elsewhere, Chelsea are understood to be closing in on a deal to sign Raheem Sterling from Manchester City. The 27-year-old has just a year remaining on his current contract with the Premier League champions and is keen on seeking a new challenge. Chelsea are reportedly confident that a £35 million deal will be enough to bring Sterling to Stamford Bridge. However, City are asking for a fee in the region of £60 million. Ruben Loftus-Cheek's agent hints at Lazio interest in Chelsea star. Ruben Loftus-Cheek's agent says Lazio boss Maurizio Sarri is a fan of his client and the midfielder is interested in the Italian top flight, as he hints at a possible summer move. The 26-year-old has long been on the fringes of the Chelsea first team, making his first team debut in 2014, but struggling to hold down a place under a string of managers since then. Last season was actually his most prolific in terms of appearances for the Blues, turning out 40 times in all competitions and making 13 starts in the Premier League. Chelsea boss Thomas Tuchel may not be keen to let him go, but agent Jonathan Barnett says there is definitely interest in him from former Blues manager Sarri at Lazio. Lazio have not spoken to Chelsea as far as I'm aware, but Maurizio Sarri is a fan of Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and he likes Serie A, Barnett told Tu Messaggero. Let's see what happens. Loftus-Cheek still has 2 years to run on his contract at Stamford Bridge, so the club are not under any immediate pressure to sell, but they might want to cash in now before his value starts to fall nearer the end of his deal. Speaking about the England international in April, Tuchel said, "We speak a lot about this, that he is still gifted to be here and it's still a huge opportunity. He has everything that it takes, otherwise he would not play and we would not count on him. But he has heard this for so many years that maybe he heard it too much, throughout the academy level and all the loans. Everybody was telling him how good the potential is and how big the future can be, but the future is only there if you live up to it in the present. He needs to trust himself. With him, it's absolutely not a matter of overconfidence, it's the opposite. He needs to have confidence in his body physically and also in his ability to do it not once or twice but 10 or 20 times in a row. It's little steps, and it might sound like it's far too little steps given the potential and what's in there, given the performances that he can produce, but it's actually not. It's the only way for him to go in these little steps, to grow in confidence and become the player finally that he can be."
That is all Chelsea News today. If you like the video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much. Goodbye and see you by tomorrow news.